Today we're going to be doing an introduction to networks. So essentially a network is a collection of computers that are all connected together. They can be connected with wires like an Ethernet cable, or they can be connected wirelessly, which seems to be more common these days. But not only are there computers connected, but there's also other devices such as printers and things like that. So here's an example of a network. One computer can talk to another computer, and this can all be done, like I said, wired or wirelessly. And this computer goes over here, here. So they can all talk to each other. But this is considered a peer-to-peer network because all of these computers are equal. No one computer is designated as a server. Each person on the network is in control of their own files. So Johnny over here is in control of his files. Susie over here is in control of her files. They're able to share with each other, but they don't all have to reach to one central location for anything in particular. They all manage their own documents locally. This type of network is very simple and it's much easier to set up and manage. Take a moment to identify the benefits and the risks of networked computing. Some examples are in lesson 25 in your book. One benefit of having a network is that it allows computers to share information because they're all connected. They can use each other's hardware, they can share software, they can send data back and forth, and essentially information. And when you're able to share things, that saves a lot of time and a lot of money. In a client-server network, you're working with client workstations, which would be your computer that sits at your desk, but you're also working with servers. Sometimes there could be one, or there could be two or three multiple servers. Servers manage the network resources. For instance, there could be an email server, or a print server, or maybe even a database server. Servers tend to be more robust with more storage space and higher speeds. All of the other computers on the networks, which we can call workstations or clients, they share the server resources. Things like the firewall, which blocks out certain things, and things like routers and hubs. Hubs and switches are small devices that enable you to connect multiple computers together. All right, here is an example of a client-server network. This is the server. The server may have a network printer connected to it. All of the clients on this network, they could either connect to the server directly, or they may use the hub. If they're using a hub, each workstation connects directly to the hub, and then there's one connection from the hub to the server. This particular workstation over here happens to have its own local printer connected to it. So it doesn't have to use the server's printer, it could use its own local printer. As far as client-server networks go, they are very popular in businesses and school networks because the servers serve multiple purposes. Most likely, if you have a network at your home, that's a peer-to-peer network because most people don't have servers running in their homes. There might be, Johnny that has his laptop in his room and Susie has her laptop in her room, but they don't necessarily share anything amongst each other because they are all in control of their own files and they don't need to access a server for anything. Take a moment to identify the differences between a LAN, which is a local area network, and a WAN, which is a wide area network. Tell me what the largest WAN is. Now we have our favorite network, the internet. It's the world's largest computer network. So here we have three small networks. When we connect these networks together, that is called an intranet. The internet is how multiple networks connect together. The World Wide Web and email are two of the more popular components of the internet. We use the internet for many reasons, mainly sharing information. We use it for shopping now, taking online classes, doing our banking nowadays. Many people in your generation are downloading lots of music online and posting pictures and videos on social media. The World Wide Web is the most popular service on the internet. Web pages that we view often have text and pictures. Many times they've got audio and video on them as well. This diagram looks like the internet we just reviewed, right? The only difference is that within each of these networks, there's a server. And we discussed how servers have different purposes. Sometimes they're print servers, sometimes they're email servers, but sometimes they're web servers. So in this instance, these servers right here are specialized web servers. And when you connect all of these things together, that's what makes up the World Wide Web. The web servers on the internet, they host files for all of the websites. They're organized in a certain hierarchy for each web page. Each element on these web pages has a certain place in the file structure on the web server. So here's an example. You have your root folder, and then maybe you would have another folder for menu items. And when I say menu items, it could be something like these items right here on the Good Counsel website. There could be another folder for just for graphics, and then you could have another folder just for the actual name of the web page. The websites we visit contain a series of web pages, and when we look at a web page, we notice that there are links to other documents, possibly other web pages, and the websites often contain graphics and maybe even links to audio and video and things like that. The most popular websites for teenagers these days are social networking sites, places where you can share interests, stories, photos, music, and videos. Your book gives you a brief description on the differences between an intranet, extranet, and internet. Please be able to identify these differences. Come to class prepared to be able to explain everything that we've gone over in this presentation.